Coming up, we go inside the most famous farm in California. Visit the Anaheim Packing District.
We've completely restored it. It's a 1919 building.
Plus a family farm in Irvine.
And I got this little pumpkin, I named it Pumpkin.
Al-fresco dining and an iced tea recipe.
Total crowd pleaser. Cheers!
California Bountiful starts now.
Welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Aubrey Aquino. I am at one of the most famous farms in California. Bet you can't guess where.
Back in the 1920s, this amusement park site was home to a berry farm. And here, owner Walter Nott and his wife Cordelia sold berries, berry preserves, and pies from a roadside stand in what's now known as Nott's Berry Farm.
We're on what is called Market Street in Ghost Town. This is the heart of Nott's Berry Farm. It's home. This is where I grew up. I spent a lot of my childhood here, playing in the streets of Ghost Town, following my dad around as he was doing his job. That's what I tell everybody. This is a family place, not just as far as the guests that are here, but the people who worked here were part of the Nott family.
Alan Palovic is a third-generation Nott's employee and an unofficial resident historian.
I work for one of the most famous farms in California. It started out as a berry farm, and Walter and his cousin were growing berries here and selling them along Beach Boulevard at just an open fruit stand. And of course, Walter Nott started propagating the boysenberry, which really is the most famous berry that they're known for.
But anyone who knows anything about Nott's Berry Farm also knows they're famous for this.
1934, because of the Depression, Mrs. Nott thought to do something to add to the family income and made up a menu of her fried chicken and sold 8 dinners that first day. And that was the start of the chicken dinner restaurant. Cordelia actually did all the cooking right in her kitchen there in the house. And that was kind of what prompted it. She would be cooking dinner for the family, and people would, what's that smell? You know, that smells really good. Word of mouth got out about, the chicken dinners and how good they were, reasonable price. The first chicken dinners were 65 cents, and it just grew from there.
And it's the food that eventually led to the amusements.
Because of the lines of people waiting for chicken dinners, which will be 2 to 4 hours at times, Walter thought, we've got to give these people something to do while they're waiting. So he was always a big fan of Old West, and he thought he would build a ghost town to house some of the historical memorabilia that he had, to remind people of what the heritage was, how the West came to be.
Nott's Berry Farm was built on food, in particular, a fried chicken recipe.
In the restaurant, we have about 1,000 different light fixtures, everything from like cheese graters, colanders, ladders. All the chairs in the dining rooms don't match. So it's like anything that was on the farm, anything that you had readily available, you would grab and bring over, right, for like a family dinner. So every family would have something. We also have different rooms and different like themes for the room. So we have our front room, which is like your kind of like tea, dining setup. The room that we're in now is called our pantry, so it's like Cordelia's kitchen.
Mrs. Nott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant has been serving up their iconic namesake dish for more than 90 years.
The fried chicken, the biscuits, the jams, same recipes. So obviously some of the equipment has been updated over the years, but it's the same method that Miss Nott cooked the fried chicken.
It's a chicken dinner tradition they've intentionally kept intact and consistent.
We have these two very vast, big chicken fryers. We call them Pro Packs, and they're conveyor belts. And then we have our dinner line. We have a pantry station. We have steamers that cook like 80% of our product that comes out, and then we also have a biscuit station where we're hand making biscuits from scratch all day long. It's extremely important to us. We're caretakers of their heritage, so they live on through us, and we get to touch the lives of like generations to come. So we want it to be as close as possible. We want the same like crispy skin, juicy chicken. The boysenberry jam is the same, so it tastes the same for like generations to come.
And the restaurant's decor and ambiance is also a direct reflection of the rich history and heritage of the many decades Nott's has been serving its famous fried chicken.
We have a cabinet that has like Walter and Cordelia Nott's china. We have Walter Nott's Stetson like cowboy hat in there. We have some old memorabilia of menus and like pie tins, and just a lot of the stuff actually has been donated by some of our guests over the years. It's a fun story to tell, and I think most of our guests do understand like how important this place is. We were founded on food, so we take a lot of pride in that. And as you like enter our restaurant and then continue on into the park, I think you see the same standards across the board.
Still to come on California Bountiful, an Irvine farm that offers fun for the whole family all year round.
They actually get to see where it's grown and actually get to hand pick it off the vine.
But first, we stop into a historic packing house turned modern-day food hall.
We've had the opportunity to preserve it and really used our past to celebrate the future, and brought back the culinary artisans to revamp and basically reprogram the building.
California Bountiful is brought to you by the California Farm Bureau.
You know, Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also debating Manning. And honestly, this might be my best sport.
I would argue that it's not.
I think it might be.
No, it's not.
Is to.
Is not.
Is to.
Is not.
Is to times infinity, no takebacks.
You can't do no takebacks.
That's debatable. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
When you choose California grown, you're a part of something good. Sound too good to be true? Not at all. It sounds responsible. We lead the nation in sustainable measures, plus some of the highest worker pay and protections. It sounds diverse, with 400 plus specialty crops produced statewide. And it sounds fresh, because it was grown right here. Learn more at californiagrown.org.
Discover more California Bountiful and get social with us. See the stories we're working on and get a peek behind the scenes. Plus, more recipes and fun facts, and join other like-minded foodies and fans of California's bounty. Find, follow, and talk to us at CaBountiful. California Farm Bureau's all-new podcast, Voice of California Agriculture, is streaming now. Tune in for the latest farm and food news, legislative updates, and more. Listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can also visit cfbf.com to access the podcast links. Now for a Bountiful Spotlight.
We're here in Anaheim, California, and you're at the packing district. I think the building represents a classic California sun-kissed orange factory. We've had many of these buildings across our state. Unfortunately, many of them got burnt down because they're wooden structures. And so we're very fortunate for the city of Anaheim to have preserved this building and not tear it down and build condominiums or anything different. It's a 1919 building. And we literally just took it apart like an old ship and put it all back together. So it's all original material, original floors. The building sat empty for 30 years, and it was used for an ice house that was like an ice making company that was in the back end of the building. So we've had the opportunity to preserve it and really used our past to celebrate the future and brought back the culinary artisans to revamp and basically reprogram the building.
Nestled in the heart of Anaheim, the packing district encompasses 4 historic landmarks, including a 2-acre farmer's park. But the main ingredient is the Anaheim Packing House, one of the last remaining citrus packing warehouses in Orange County.
Anaheim, California actually was a big citrus producer. Before that, actually, it was settlers from up north. And the story to be told is that Levi and Strauss family actually, when they moved to America many, many years ago, they brought musicians from Europe with them. And they gave them a couple-year contract because there was no symphony back then. And when the contracts came out, those musicians got into their horses and dune buggies, and they came down here to Anaheim, and they basically made Anaheim their home. And they were in the beer and wine business because there was no music down here, so they were farmers in a sense. And so I think we have a rich history here in Anaheim of agriculture.
Housing a 100-year history, what was once an Anaheim Orange and Lemon Association packing house has been historically preserved and retrofitted, reopened in 2014 as Orange County's original food hall.
There's over 30 restaurants, so there's different types of food. We really celebrate an international host of foods here. We have a wonderful selection. What I love about the presentation here is most of them are just local operators. Many of the recipes are from old families, such as George's Restaurant, for instance. And so it's really been just a fun, wonderful addition for the neighborhood. The stories that come out, they talk about their families and grandparents that used to work at the citrus packing house, and it's really fantastic. I think the other part is the idea of really bringing the community together. Again, this community has been here for a long time, and there's just different generations, and so this has become their backyard, and this is their downtown.
All around the food hall, visitors will find historic nods to the building's ag history, including one feature which is off the rails.
Originally, that's where they packed all the oranges here within the building, and then they basically just put them on the train cars and shipped them across the country. And so we brought the rails back and we brought the train back and we made it into a patio seating area. Authenticity was really important for us. Again, this really was truly a celebration of the building and its culture. We worked with a historical architect, so like every change in here really had to get approved historically, including where we're standing. The ground level was very low because it's just basically a packing facility. And so we revamped it by opening up cutting the floor open and activating the downstairs. So it really became a more functional building for today's needs. The idea of really preserving the structure and celebrating its history.
And with that vision in mind, the Anaheim Packing House has become a vibrant community hub that fosters social equity and a strong sense of local community. Just ahead, experience a day on the farm in the heart of Irvine.
All righty. Good morning, everybody. How are we feeling today?
We do farm tours, we do strawberry tours, we have a pumpkin patch.
And up next, a unique California-grown dining experience in a Corona Del Mar garden setting.
Did you know Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company? They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. Just like I'm so much more than quarterback Peyton Manning. I'm also Peyton Manning.
It's lovely, Peyton.
Did you say Peyton or Peyton?
Peyton.
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 Great work.
Thank you. For your insurance and financial needs, Peyton, Nationwide is on your side.
The California Farm Bureau has protected the diverse agricultural interests in the Golden State for over a century. As part of the California Farm Bureau, you'll add your voice to the combined strength of over 34,000 farmers, ranchers, and families through our state. That means more connections, more influence, and more opportunity to fight for the issues that impact your life. With your support behind us, California Farm Bureau's robust government affairs, federal policy and farm PAC, and legal teams work tirelessly to advocate at all levels of government, protecting and promoting our shared way of life. Together, California Farm Bureau and our members are standing up for farmers, ranchers, and families throughout the Golden State every day, working to cultivate a bountiful future for all Californians.
California Grown Spotlight.
My name is Rich Mead. My restaurant is Farmhouse at Rogers Gardens, and we're in Corona Del Mar, California. I was looking for a space, and I started doing pop-ups for a couple of years, and I was doing catering. Somebody introduced me to the people that own the garden, and they've owned this for 50 years probably, and they were trying to do something. They introduced me, and we started talking, and then they agreed to let me do this. Part of what I wanted to do was I wanted to connect with farmers. I'll find somebody that has a wonderful one thing. And then you start buying from somebody, and then you realize, I can buy Brussels sprouts from her, or I can buy Brussels sprouts from somebody else. And it's the care she takes, and so I'll buy Brussels sprouts from her to build my order up, and because I'm using them anyway, and there's someone else I'm buying from that might be a little cheaper, but in the end, it's a relationship you create. And then I found these kalettes. And the kalettes are a cross between kale and Brussels sprout. It's with a chimichurri and then a little dipping sauce, but it's just a really neat. And I tasted it, and the funny part is you walk away from it, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but you want to do something with it because it's so interesting. And it's really fun to turn people on to interesting things, that especially when it comes to the market. The chimichurri we make is an unusual chimichurri, and we do it with rosemary and thyme. I think we put some sage in it, and then we put in the parsley. We still put in the shallots, the red wine vinegar, the olive oil. We did it because in conjunction with the nursery, which is Rogers Gardens, sometimes they'll ask me if, we can do some stuff together, and that evolved, and it was from this. We always called it the Farm Box Chimichurri. And so some of these things we do are because of this relationship I have with the garden also. It's fun because it's still creating these stories, and part of the stories are creating a sense of community, right? Is people come and they feel like they're part of your stories, and they want to learn about the stories, and then they tell their friends. And I've been in this area for 25, 26 years, and over time I've met, very wonderful people. And when we talk community, I think there are people that have supported me for the whole time I've owned restaurants. Part of what I really want to do is give back to people and support people and help people, because that's important too. We have a cocktail every week, and it's a swig for selflessness. And what we do is it would be your, soup du jour, or it's just something that we change every week. And we have a certain group of charities we work with, or maybe we'll have a customer that asks us if we would support their charity for a week, and we'll take 50% of what we sell and we donate it to the group that we're working with that week.
Now time for a bountiful beverage.
Lodestar is a women-owned and operated, local to LA whiskey. It's a blend of a high rye bourbon and American single malt. We're cousins. We worked together in entertainment for over a decade and developed a love for whiskey during that time. And it kind of became a passion of ours to try all kinds of different whiskeys and develop our palates. And then over time, this little idea started brewing to maybe get into that space at some point. We felt that there were not a lot of women in the space. Whiskey still has a dustier or an older image, and it's being marketed primarily as a man's drink. And when we're out meeting new people at events, we do find that, a lot of men are like, oh, whiskey, and they just immediately gravitate towards us. We have women who are already whiskey drinkers who are like cheering us on and are so excited that we're there. We very much feel like people are ready for the whiskey category to be a little bit more diverse. It's been going really well, and California, especially Southern California, I think traditionally has been more of an agave kind of space. So we're trying to bring some people over into the whiskey world. We're
a delicious cocktail for you today. It's our signature cocktail called the Lodestar Iced Tea. It's like an Arnold Palmer, but with whiskey in it. We're gonna start off with a little ice in here. So first, we're gonna use 2 ounces of tea. We use a smoky black tea that kind of adds another element of flavor. It's called Lapsang Souchong, which you can order online, or you can just use a black tea that you might have at home. That goes in here. Then we're gonna do 1 ounce of simple syrup. There we go. And 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice. And last but not least, 2 ounces of Lodestar whiskey. Go ahead. There we go. And then you just mix it up. All right. Here we go. We're going to strain it in our chilled cup. Now we're going to just garnish it with a little orange peel. And there you go. You have a Lodestar iced tea. Total crowd pleaser. Cheers.
Straight ahead, a multi-generational Japanese-American family farm in Irvine is also a year-round hotspot for agri-tourism in Orange County.
We're kind of like everybody's aunts and uncles and family because we try to invite them here on the farm, get their hands dirty a little bit.
You're watching California Bountiful.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Peyton Manning. I'm also Calculating Manning. Yep, math checks out.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Listen up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong. The good news is, Anthony, the human we're tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with strong new gear to defend against the flu. So let's go fight for Anthony. Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Hey everybody, I'm in Irvine at Tanaka Farms, where they're as serious about having fun as they are about what they grow.
We're right in the middle of Irvine. We have a lot of different activities here on the farm. We do farm tours for the children. We do strawberry tours. We have a pumpkin patch. We do watermelon tours. And we have a big Hikari event in the wintertime. But all throughout the year, we do a lot of different events, cookout tours, farm-to-table events. We're in a lot of schools. All the school kids come out all in the area. Yeah, a lot of people live down the street, and we're so hidden that they don't even know we're here. So it's just getting the word out, but word of mouth is where we've pretty much grown from being a small farm to really the agritourism has built us up in the community.
Tanaka Farms is family-owned and operated, a family legacy 4 generations in counting.
Well, I'm a 4th-generation Japanese-American farmer called Yonsei. My father's a 3rd-generation farmer. He farmed pretty much all his life. When he was young, he worked on the farm and basically grew up in it. My grandfather was born in Fresno in Dinuba, California. During the war, they had to move to Utah after the war, and that's when my dad was born in 1957, so he started farming with his father. He tried to get really big, really fast. He got up to about 300, 400 acres of wholesaling, tomatoes, strawberries. They were shipping across country. Had a couple of really bad years and pretty much lost everything. He had to downsize, took on some partners in the area, had to do some custom farming. It wasn't until about probably 1998 when we came on this piece of land. Yeah, fast forward now, we have about 30,000 school kids come during the springtime. Throughout the year, we probably get about a couple 100,000 people in general on the weekends, just the general community coming in and enjoying the farm. On this piece of property, we have 40 acres, and we grow about 65 different fruits and vegetables right now throughout the year. With those fruits and vegetables, we also sell to our community-supported agriculture program. We take it to schools, they use it as fundraisers.
A working farm with you-pick activities, wagon rides, and so much more. It's the Tanaka's creative agri-tourism approach, which makes them memorable.
Before, everybody had like a relative that had a farm or that they went to go work on the farm in the summer. So my dad likes to say we're kind of like everybody's aunts and uncles and family because we try to invite them here on the farm, get their hands dirty a little bit. They pick some vegetables on the tour. They get to try some fruits and vegetables while they're out here. We have an animal area where our barnyard, so they get to see the animals and interact with them.
Hi.
A lot of the kids that I gave tours to, or my dad has given tours to, they're grown up and they're bringing their kids now. So it's nice to see the generations come out and that we're still around. We have a tractor-pulled wagon, so on a regular strawberry tour, you'll take a ride around the farm, you'll pick a vegetable, and then you'll go out in the strawberry field and pick and eat strawberries. One of my memories from doing the tours was I was giving a tour and I had a green onion, and I had to kid try it. He said, I'm not gonna try that, I don't like it. I go, just try a little leaf. He took a bite of the leaf, he ended up eating the leaf, and he ended up eating the bulb of the onion too. His mom was so surprised that it was fun seeing the kids, they eat the strawberries, get it all over their shirts, and it's a fun experience, and it gives them exposure to fresh fruits and vegetables.
An opportunity to live a slice of farm life in a city center.
It's mainly the parents that seeing their kids get to do something that they don't normally get to do and try different things that they normally don't try. They pick it themselves, so a lot of them say they go home and they'll actually clean it, help prep, and eat that fruit or vegetable when they get home. It's mainly the experience here that where they get to see their fruits and vegetables are grown.
And the best time to visit is really any time because they keep farming all year round.
We have our produce stand. It's pretty much open year round now. Just a couple holidays out of the year we're closed, but every other day we're open. So pretty much 7 days a week.
All righty, good morning everybody. How are we feeling today?
January through about June is our strawberry season. We're also known for a yellow watermelon. Watermelon season's around July, August, but our pumpkin patch is really where the majority of people come, and that's how people know us. If they come one time a year, it's usually for our pumpkin patch.
Tanaka Farms is a fun place. And that'll do it for this episode from Orange County. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember you can find us online at CaliforniaBountiful.com. Take care and have a great week.